Hey guys, so we have started our new topic, and that is acids, bases and salts. So today we will be going forward with certain concepts based in acids, bases and salts. We already looked at indicators, so we know how to identify an acid or a base or a salt. Today onwards we will be going to be looking at some activities that will show me how the interaction between an acid or a base along with any other chemical might look like. For today we are going to focus on one thing, and that is how an acid and a metal are going to interact. Okay, acids you are familiar with, whatever we have looked at. Metals, just like the metals that we use in everyday life, be it iron, iron, zinc, copper, all of these are metals, right? So we can use any of these metals for this reaction. I'll be using something called zinc metal. Over here I've got it. It's a metal that's there in powder form, and I'll be showing this to you shortly. Along with this, I have this acid with me, which is hydrochloric acid, which is quite a strong acid, so I'll be needing to use caution when I do the experiment. Now keep in mind, since this is an experiment, you'll have to use the experiment format to write down your notes. That is the same format that is sometimes asked in your exam also. You need to make sure there is aim, apparatus, procedure, observation and your result or conclusion, right? So I've already started with what our aim is, and our aim is to look at how acids and metals will react with each other. Now for our apparatus, I'm going to need an acid, in this case hydrochloric acid, zinc, metal of any form. We're going to need a test tube for the reaction. We're going to need a test tube holder to hold the test tube. We are going to also need a matchbox and any other supportive equipment. In this case I might need beakers, which are not entirely necessary, but I might need them. Okay. So to start with our procedure, what I'm going to do, first I will show you what this zinc metal powder is. So this is a grey colored metal powder. Generally metal is in solid form. This one is not, it's a powder. So this is how it looks. It's got pieces and it got powder in it. We'll be using this in our reaction for today. Okay. Now what I will do, first thing, I'll take this metal and I will pour it directly into our test tube. Okay, here's our test tube, here's our metal. I've used the paper just for convenience, so I can directly pour the metal inside of the test tube, something like this. Simply a matter of convenience. Again, that's why I didn't mention filter paper as apparatus. It's not a part of the apparatus or the equipment we need. Okay, so now I have poured my metal inside of my test tube. Now I need to, this next thing I need to do is add the acid inside of the test tube. Now here I already have some acid in the beaker here. I'll just add some more. And you be super careful. Remember, acids are corrosive, especially strong acids, and so are strong bases also, by the way. Just because it's not an acid doesn't mean it is not strong. Base can also burn your skin quite heavily, so you need to be careful. So since I'm starting to use the acid, I'll be using this test tube holder here. It helps me hold the test tube at a distance so that I don't get injured. Okay. Now I've held the test tube here. Now I'll try to pour this acid inside of this test tube. and I want you to observe what happens inside the test tube once the acid and the metal interact. Alright, so now that they have interacted, you will notice there's some bubble formation, right? Every time there's bubbles formed, that tells us that there's a certain gas that is being evolved inside of it, okay, because bubbles means gas, right? So inside this liquid there's a certain gas that is being formed. All right, now what I need to do is I need to make sure that to test this I'm going to just cover this up slightly, okay. I'm going to cover this test tube so the gas stays inside the test tube. So for this, identifying which gas it is, there are a lot of tests. We can use any one that we wish. For one of the tests for gases is called the pop sound test, okay. It is used to identify whether a gas is hydrogen gas or not. Okay, so we'll be using the pop sound test. In the pop sound test, what happens is you light a match and you bring it close to the mouth of this test tube or wherever your gas is. Okay, there it is. Now I will try to remove my finger and bring this flame close to the mouth, okay. Try to hear the sound. There. You heard that pop sound? Alright. Let's go once more. Just try to watch carefully, okay? There. Now my matchstick is off. So this sound happens because hydrogen gas is combustible, right? Kind of burns with that pop kind of a sound. So it's a slight risky experiment also. You need to make sure that you're not very close to it. So to talk about a reaction, whenever an acid and a metal react, what happens is they create a gas. Now if you see the bubbles is still coming, right? It means the reaction is still happening there. It will keep reacting because there's a lot of metal. So whenever acids and metals react, they create hydrogen gas, okay. And hydrogen gas along with whatever is inside you see is actually a salt, okay. It's not the salt that we talk about in our daily life, not table salt, but it's salt in terms of being a product of an acid and something else. So in this case, since it's zinc and HCl, we say it's zinc chloride salt, okay. We'll put the reaction equation in the video for you to figure out. So my products for this reaction will be zinc chloride and hydrogen gas. Trying to see if it happens. Oh, there, see? Interesting. And no matter how many times I keep doing it, will keep happening, and shouldn't overdo it or the apparatus will heat up and probably explode. Right, so this is today's reaction, metals and acids to give salt, respective salt and hydrogen gas. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you.